Goo Goo Power Rangers on the big screen. Hey YouTube, Chikunjin over here, and that is right. I'm sure many of you know already, but it was recently announced via press release that Saban Brands has partnered with Lionsgate to produce a brand new Power Rangers feature film set for release sometime before we die, hopefully. When I first seen the announcement, the first thing I thought about was Go Busters. Saban recently announced that they skipped Go Busters in favor of going straight to Kyoryuger. Go Busters suits and mecha design kind of warrant themselves to a movie setting, and the main plot of Go Busters could really be adapted into a 2-hour film, particularly if you kind of focus on the first arc of the show and kind of rewrite it a little bit. I think it could easily be condensed into a pretty nice 2-hour film. But I realized that was silly, and so my thought then shifted to a film adaptation of the Kyoryuger vs. Go Busters film. For those of you that don't know, in Kyoryuger vs. Go Busters, they kind of pushed Go Busters to the side a little bit and focused on this dinosaur team up with Ranger, Aba Ranger, and Kyoryuger. And so we got that instead. A larger film budget would kind of let them bring back the necessary actors and shoot the original footage to remove the Go Busters and focus on just the dinosaur teams. So I thought that was a possibility. Then I finally actually read the press release and realized that this isn't just a feature film. It's evidently a full-scale Hollywood reboot of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now keep in mind that outside of stating that it was a reimagining of MMPR, it's like 5 teenagers get powers and yada yada. We know nothing about this film. There's no synopsis, no cast, no crew, no release date, not even a legit title for it. It's just Power Rangers feature film. Now they could go the predictable route and just name it Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This allows for all the nostalgia fans to recognize the name right away. Go, oh my god, it's MMPR. Go see this movie. And as much as I don't like riding the nostalgia train, Mighty Morphin is the Power Rangers that everyone knows. And naming the film after the original series is basically a shoo-in for attracting the audiences that they're probably gutting for. But I'm wondering if it actually needs that. I feel as though they could probably drop everything, kind of just like Transformers did with their first film, and just name the movie Power Rangers. The name by itself is just as iconic, if not more so, than adding Mighty Morphin to it. And I actually like this route, because if this film is successful and does lead to more films, it opens the doors for the film franchise to go past an MMPR motif and go to a different season, or dare I say, something completely original. And I feel with the MMPR label, it would be a little bit more restricted. Plus, I also like the simplistic title, so that it doesn't really cause confusion between this upcoming film, the original series, and then the original movie, which was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. So having so many things with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as the title could get a little bit confusing in conversation. But I feel like this film has so much potential, and I'm actually really excited for it. Much like the Transformers films, no matter how much people rip on them, they brought a whole bunch of people into the Transformers fandom, be it good or bad. And I feel like this movie has the potential to do that too. It's actually rather amazing how small this fandom is compared to how it feels being a part of it. When you're inside it, it's like, oh, this fandom's so big, there's so many weird people in it. But unfortunately, MMPR plagues this fandom. And every single time a news outlet mentions Power Rangers, be it by article mistakes or just the comments, and they're flooded with, oh, nothing beats the original, and oh, the new stuff sucks. comments, and occasionally some noble fandom member will stumble in and try to defend the franchise, only to get mocked or pushed away because, oh, Power Rangers for kids, nothing beats the original. If you watch past the original, you're stupid, it sucks. And, well, I think that this will more than likely always be the case uh, for fans of the television franchise. This new film, it has potential to open people's eyes to the franchise's vast history. Well, the movie is in no way like a history lesson. It's not going to teach you anything. This is a reboot. But by catching wind and hopping back into the world of Power Rangers, I hope more people start researching the series' history and realize that a lot of great shows and characters lie beyond the MMPR that they hold up on such a pedestal. And I'm not expecting the blind MMPR fanboys to realize just how rich the franchise is. It's something that I hope can happen. Transformers saw a huge spike in people researching other facets of the franchise after the films. It piqued a lot of people's interests from way back when. They're like, oh, I watched Transformers when I was a kid. Oh, these movies are kind of fun. They're weird, but they're fun. And I hope that something similar can happen with this franchise too. I think the biggest question on everyone's minds right now is the tone of the movie, since we don't really have a rating or any sort of indication on what they're going for. No, this is just all speculation, but I feel like the movie could easily be geared towards just children and be a glorified version of kind of the tone that we have now in Samurai through Super Mega Force. It's tolerable in some instances, but it's very kid-centric and focuses on them in particular, and it's a kids franchise, so that's to be expected. However, I'm anticipating something a little bit more. If Saban and Lionsgate were focused on the kid market, I feel like they wouldn't be rebooting MMPR. I feel like they would just be focused on making a theatrical version of like Super Mega Force or Dino Charge or something like that. But by rebooting MMPR in particular, you're pulling from a kid market that loves Power Rangers, a dedicated fan base who will definitely go see the movie following the franchise since 1993. They're dedicated. And as well as the big mass of MMPR nostalgia people who will see it simply because it's their childhood show all grown up. That's why a lot of people who aren't Transformers fans saw Transformers. They're like, oh, I love Transformers growing up. This is the grown-up version, yeah. And that was like a JDF moment. But overall, I'm anticipating something very similar to the way Transformers was handled, minus the dirty jokes and adult humor. Despite the dirty jokes and the adult humor in those films, the Transformers films have still been pretty successful to children and adults alike. Watching it, I don't think I would have taken a small child to go see the Transformers films, but it was evidently popular enough with the children to help boost the sales of the cartoons, and plus the toy lines for the movie of Transformers was very, very high, especially when you compare the numbers to like Generations and Prime's toy lines and stuff. But that's a topic for a different day. So I feel that with the right writers, directors, and producers, that this film can bring a tone that adult fans will like while still being in a setting that kids will really enjoy. Now, I want to make it a point that I don't want some gritty Dark Knight Power Rangers, and I don't want some Power Rangers movie that's filled with adult potty humor. So I want to stress that I don't really want that. Now, I am part of the camp that actually likes the Transformers films. I find them enjoyable, but that doesn't really have anything to do with here or there. But given today's CGI and the right crew, if they can make this into a film with high-paced action, like all the superhero films, Avengers and Captain America and Iron Man and stuff, with an overall tone that's compatible to all ages, which is actually something Marvel does. Their movies are very in-depth and very kind of fan-driven. At the same time, kids eat up the Avengers flicks, and in turn really enjoy watching Avengers Assembled, Ultimate Spider-Man, things like that. So if Marvel can pull it off year after year, and Lionsgate's pretty successful with their movies, they have Hunger Games behind them, and that is a huge franchise now. And so I have some faith that they can actually pull it off. But what do I personally want out of this movie? I really just want a fun experience. In terms of cast, I would like to see an entirely new cast. Whether they go the route of all new characters or whether they're just new versions of Jason, Trini, Zach, Kimberly, Billy, maybe Tommy. I don't think we'll get to the Green Ranger in the first film, honestly, but if that's what they want to do, then that's great. I think the idea of having a completely new cast is brilliant. I'm not opposed to the idea of cameos by old cast members, not in their roles, but Dawson said this in his video, like a Stan Lee sort of thing, just having them in a scene doing just something a normal civilian would do would be a real good treat for the hardcore fans of the franchise, and just something really cool to see. I do not want any of the actual old actors to reprise their roles. These are supposed to be teenagers. None of them can pass as teenagers anymore. Jason David Frank, I don't want to really talk about his deals in this video, but he's campaigning to get himself in the movie or something, and it's just behavior I don't really want to condone, and I don't want him anywhere near this movie, actually. In terms of villains, if they use villains like Rita, Goldar, Zed, if they want to bring in those voice actors, I'm all for that. Voice actors are something that a lot of people grow really attached to, and when you change voices, it gets really weird. So I would not be opposed to voice actors returning, because they're all very talented people. So in that regard, I don't mind them returning. But in terms of actual actors, I want to see either a whole new set of characters being the main characters this time around, not necessarily being Jason, Zach, Billy, Trini, Kimberly. If they want to rename them, I'm actually cool with that. If not, and they're just new actors, I'm fine with that too. I'm really up for anything. But there's just so many possibilities here, and it's really exciting not knowing what they're really going to pull from. Given the status of being a film, I'm expecting brand new designs. I don't expect them to don the Mighty Morphin outfits that they're using for Super Mega Force right now and make a movie out of it. So I'm expecting full new designs for everything. Tsuyoshi Nonaka, the designer for Plex, for like 20 years or something, has done some design sketches for an updated MMPR G-Ranger look that he showed off at Morphicon 2012. And he hopes that they would someday become a reality. And looking at them, I will include a link to the pictures of those in the description. I don't want to put them in the video just in case. But if they're banking on MMPR nostalgia, I'm really game for those designs. I'm expecting the base designs for the film to be updated looks of the MMPR and G-Ranger designs. I don't think they're going to stray heavily from it, but I'm definitely expecting a redesign. Nonaka did a fantastic job of updating the designs to work in today's like modern idea of armored superheroes and stuff. The Megazord design he showed, I feel, needs a little bit of tweaking. It's a little bit weird in some areas, but the way that he designed it, I can fully see that design in today's caliber of CG, just charging around the screen, fighting the bad guys. And I really, really like it in that regard. I think this is one of the few times where they can go all out and not really be tied to what Japan's given us. And speaking of that, I really love this concept. Power Rangers has always been an adaptation of Sentai. And for years, I've always kind of thought about what PR would be like if it was an original creation. At the very least, I wonder what it would be like if they could take Sentai's designs, suits, gear, everything that Toei and Plex design, and apply it to a completely US production, not using Sentai footage at all, just taking their designs and going with it. And while this won't really give us an exact idea, given how this is a larger scale Hollywood production, not a television show, I think it's really exciting to see Power Rangers jump past the television adaptation world into something of its own. Now, we've had 2 movies in the past that did that by not relying on Sentai footage, but they were still tied to the television show in some fashion or another, and they were still kind of bogged down by it. But now they have an entirely new world to toy around with, and I really find that fascinating. And I hope that this can be its own successful thing, and it can go into multiple movies, and we'll have a movie universe and a show universe running congruently. And I mean, if Paper Cuts is up to it, they've been doing some pretty nice comics, give or take. And start a whole new comic universe, too. Take some old Sentai designs that we never used, or reimagine the Power Rangers in general in a new comic universe. Transformers has been successful having so many different universes running at the same time between comics, the Prime universe, which is part of the Aligned universe, but that's a weird topic. The Rescue Bots television show, the film franchise. Transformers has a ton of different facets to its existence, and Power Rangers has that sort of potential to have all these different universes running. And I kind of want to see it enter that stage. I think Power Rangers has had its ups and downs, but no franchise has really been in a huge upward slope all the time. And I hate bringing up Transformers all the time throughout this, but Transformers is 30 years old, and it's still going strong today. Now, the franchise Transformers has been in slumps numerous times, and I really do feel like the film franchise kind of brought Transformers back into the spotlight for both adults who were fans when they were younger, kids who were just discovering their franchise, and even long-term fans. And I'm hoping Power Rangers can do the same, and I really think it can. While a lot of kids know of the franchise, a popular film like this can really give it a boost to kids who might not watch. And like I said before, hopefully open the eyes of adult nostalgia fans to look into this franchise beyond the original series. There's a lot of good there, and I really hope more people can be exposed to this. And even if it doesn't give the fandom a big boost, I hope the film can be successful enough to launch Power Rangers into a multi-faceted franchise. Like so many other franchises I enjoy have so many different universes running. And I'm really optimistic for this. A new movie means new toys, and you know how I am with toys. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what a toy line for a movie like this would be. Whether it can run alongside the TV show's toy line, or whether it gets mixed in or something like that. But I'm incredibly optimistic for this. I can't wait to find out more information. I'm hoping that they kind of take the right path with this, and I think if pulled off well, we're in for a real treat, and I think this is something that can really, really boost the franchise into a new level that we quite haven't seen in a while. So I'm really looking forward to that. We'll see what happens, but for now, I'm cautiously optimistic, but the news is exciting, and I can't wait to see what happens from here. So thanks for listening, take care, and have a great one. Bye.